Hi there, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go through 10 meal tips that are going to help you get more organized with your meal planning, with your meal prepping, and that will equal success because when you plan and prep, you naturally will pick better food and you will be eating less on the run, you'll be eating less fast food, you'll be eating less sugar, you'll be eating less processed salt, so then you will feel better, you will feel mentally more clear, and that equals more productivity at work. You'll be a better mom, you'll be a better wife, you'll be a better friend, colleague, because you're going to feel better. It's been shown that the better you eat, the more real food you eat, the better your mood is. So let's go through 10 meal preps. Even if you're not on an exact plan, these meal prep tips will help you throughout the week. And you will feel better, trust me. First one is make time. Look at the week, and everybody's week is different. Sunday might not be your day to meal prep. Maybe the only time you have free is Fridays from 6 to 8. So look at your week and decide when is going to be your meal prep time. It'll change because things will come up, but if you have that carved, then you'll know if something ends up coming up during Friday 6 to 8, you're just going to move it to Saturday 1 to 3 that time. But look at about a 2-hour window that you can meal prep. Mark it on the calendar, and that's going to be your time, because if you put those 2 hours in, you're going to be so much more efficient and save so much time during the week in scrambling to go to the grocery store or trying to make decisions about what you're going to eat all week. So trust me, those 2 hours will save you so much time. So that's the first one. Carve it in your schedule. Second one is when you go to bake something, double it. I've got 3 kids, so there's rarely a time that I don't double something or triple something because it's so much more efficient. So look at a recipe, and if you can, like chili, soups, burgers, triple them. And anything, especially things that you can freeze, like soups and homemade burgers and things like that, or homemade chicken fingers, all of those things. Just double it right off the bat. The third tip is go freezer friendly. So look at what you can put in that freezer. Look at even buying frozen vegetables. If you find you're busy, you're on the run, or you're constantly throwing out vegetables, buy frozen vegetables. Best is buy the vegetables, chop them up, put them in the freezer, put them in a plastic Ziploc bag and throw them in the freezer so you've got them, or in the fridge because they're going to last you 3 or 4 days at least. So those are the first 3 tips for my 10 tips from successful meal planning. First one, get time in your schedule. Second one, double, triple, any recipe. Third one, go freezer friendly. Look for things that you can put in that freezer. The fourth one is get good storage containers. There's nothing more frustrating than making a big batch of soup or chili and then not having the right containers. So invest in some good containers. You'll never regret it. You're going to reuse them over and over and over again. So that's really worth it. The next one is make a list. Don't go to the grocery store without a list. We all know how frustrating that is. I mean, unless you're going there to pick up 2 or 3 items, but it's amazing how quickly we forget once we get to the grocery store why we came and what we have at home. So make a list, use it as part of that 2-hour meal prepping time. So that 2 hours, you're gonna look at what's in your cupboard and then look what you're gonna make, jot down what you need at the grocery store. I find it cuts my grocery shopping time in half when I have a list easily, and I end up buying less things that I already have at home, and I'm running to the grocery store during the week much less if I have a grocery list. I love that list. It also prevents you from overbuying, because when I have that list and when you're going to have that list, you're not going to be buying random things as much. I always add on to my main list only things that I know we whip through every week, like unsweetened applesauce, those kind of things for the kids. So get your list. It'll save you money and it'll save you time, and stick to your list. You might even have a main list that you just keep using over and over again with maybe 10 or 15 of the same items. That's great. And then you might just rotate the other 10 items each week. Next one is shop. Buy things in bulk. It's going to save you time. Like when I mentioned the unsweetened applesauce, I don't just buy 1, I usually buy 3. It'll save time up front, and it'll save me from not having it in. So if there's any items that don't go bad, just buy them in bulk as long as you know you're going to use them within the month. And usually buying things in bulk like that is cheaper than smaller items. Get grains. So you know you're going to use rice or quinoa all the time, or millet or oats. So make sure you always have those in, because rice and quinoa are the great side dishes to have. So if you have chicken, you have veggies, you always want a side dish because you need the carbs, you need the complex carbs. So always think about those, having them in, and they store forever. So don't worry about having those in too much. And they store after you make them, they stay in the fridge for 3 days if they're stored nicely. The one thing, and I forget this, and when I do, it throws me off, label what you put in the freezer. You think when you put that soup or that casserole or that chili in the freezer, you're gonna know exactly what it is, exactly what's in it, and when you put it in there. Just get some markers and labels. You'll be so happy you did this. I often just use a black marker and tape, masking tape, and just slap it on the dish. And I'm so glad when I go to look quickly, whether it's tomato sauce or is it tomato paste or is that pumpkin puree, whatever it is. And if I have a good system, I find I'm more likely to save things in the freezer rather than putting them in the fridge. And if they're in the freezer, they're not going to go as bad. So you're going to save money that way. So label things helps so much. Next one is have some ideas so ahead of time for what meals are really good to prep ahead of time. For breakfast, for example, I jotted some down. Overnight oats. Awesome. You can make them 3 days in advance and you can have them every morning there. And I make overnight oats, I'm sure, every single week. Our kids like them. I may change the fruit I put in them, but it's so nice to have ready in the morning. And I think it's something that you don't really get sick of. You can throw blueberries in one day. You can throw strawberries in the morning one day. You could throw almond slices in one morning. You could put a little peanut butter in it if you want the protein, or a little protein powder. And I always put like maple syrup, and you got chia in there, which is going to be great fiber. So the other things, chia puddings. You can make them with, again, different fruits to get different tastes. So those are 2 examples of what you can do overnight. You can also do eggs overnight, like boiled eggs, and then have them in the morning right there. For lunch, I love doing like mason jar salads where you just layer them. A breakfast idea is like layering, putting eggs and a little bit of bacon and a little bit of hash browns. You cut up potatoes, just throw them in with like paprika and salt and pepper and olive oil and cooking them. You can put them in a mason jar with actually eggs and bacon, a little bit of arugula, and there you go. You can even take it to work like that and throw it in a bowl and eat it for lunchtime, or that can be your breakfast. Hard-boiled eggs, again, if you can take them to your workplace, they're great for a snack. Fruit and veggies, having them ahead of time cut up. So when you buy groceries, the last thing I know we want to do is spend some time in the kitchen. But if we look at it like that's just our meal prep time, that 2 hours where we get groceries, we come home, we chop, and it's just as efficient to chop 3 carrots as it is to chop 1. So just chop a bunch of veggies, put them in dishes. You'll use them during the week in stir fries or just snacks for your kids or snacks for yourself. And trail mix. Making up a big container on Sundays is awesome. Like if you want to do, I often get those dark chocolate chips and just throw a few in, throw raisins in, throw almonds in, or cashews if you like them. And you can just, then you're always going to grab like 1/4 of a cup almost every day of the week. You could do that. And if you have it done ahead of time, you're way more likely to have that as your snack than grabbing something at a fast food place like a muffin that's not going to help balance your hormones. It's going to increase inflammation. Your tummy's not going to feel good if you have any IBS problems at all or problems digesting wheat or dairy. So all those little tips will help you feel better during the week. You'll feel more successful. You'll have more time. It'll save you money when you plan. And long-term, doing this month after month, your hormones will get balanced. You're supporting your adrenal and your thyroid health, and you're helping your gut, which we know is the foundation of our whole health. So when we help our gut, we get nutrients to our thyroid, our adrenals, our nervous system, our hormones get balanced. Then you see it outside. You see it with your skin glowing, you see it with your hair and your nails, etc. And if we keep that inflammation down, it's going to help us mentally, because increased inflammation is linked with depression. So thinking about the meal prepping, just focus on that and you'll see the changes in your health over time. So I hope that helped. Please feel free to tag, share people, because I know meal prepping and meal planning isn't easy, but it's the root of our health. If we can get meal prepping and meal planning down so that we've got a base of what we're eating at home as real food, it will really help to prevent illness and to improve your health. So share, tag some friends so we can spread the word about how we can take responsibility in our own health. You can do it on a budget. You can do it when you're busy. So let's do that and help support each other. So thank you so much for listening. And in case you're joining this or you haven't watched any videos of mine before, I'm Dr. Glenna. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm the creator of Your Guide to Optimal Health with Dr. Glenna, a 4-week eating program that has transformed the lives of hundreds of people. I started it in March. And I'm also a mom of 3 small kiddos, 2, 5, and 7. And that's it. So thanks so much for listening, and I will continue to give you the tools to help you look and feel your best. Take care. Bye-bye.